that goes on, that, it's hard to deal with women, man.
You know the line, if I can't be beautiful, I wanna be invisible. But what do you do when you can't be beautiful, but not invisible either? I am someone against need shaming. Of course, that doesn't mean I encourage you to not do anything with your life. But I understand both sides of the argument, really. I encourage people to try to live up to their potential, especially the younger ones among you. But I also understand why you would wanna bitch out and rot max. I envy needs or men that actually do their hobby as a job that they would keep doing even if they didn't get paid. People always say, oh dude, just turn your hobby into your job. Yeah, sure. Try showing your gaming stats to the cashier in the grocery store. Guys, not having to work is a privilege I didn't have, by the way. Not even only me and you, but the vast majority of people will not have. Especially if you are a below average looking male coming from a family with poor connections. If you are sub 5 and low status, not having to interact with society and just live in peace on your own is as good as it is gonna get for you. As a sub 5, if you can set up something like mitten squatted, that is probably your best option, bro. Like, there is nothing out there for some people. Nothing to justify going through the ringer, the work ringer. And for what? Just to put food on the table and pay off the mortgage for the next 10-20 years. Work and lose your hair, For a lot of men, that is the life script. Keep providing for a female who's settling for you, who doesn't love you. Keep working and keep losing your hair in a dead bedroom marriage. Keep working in a repetitive, meaningless 9-to-5 job. A job they don't even enjoy but just tolerate. Numb themselves to it. And spend the next 30 years, 40 years that way. Working and balding. That is the life script for the vast majority of the working class. You are the lucky one if you are born into wealth. I call them good lifers in this community. Those type of people, who have rich parents who enable them to rot on Discord 24/7. Good lifers, man. For the rest of us who have to go through this work-life ringer, this video is gonna be for you. I'm gonna share what I have learned now that I have graduated and got some experience under my belt. Office politics is really hell, even for normies, let alone sub 5s and socially uncalibrated dudes. So, here are my tips to make the ride smoother. Guys, you gotta understand that your colleagues are not your friends. This is especially true if you are a sub 5 male. Oh, we are like a family in this company. No, we are not.
Because no is not a final answer. We need to have the mentality that no means find another way. No means try again. No means look somewhere else. No does not mean stop trying. Okay?
Never complain. Do not complain and do not overshare. Discretion is everything. None of the people you work with is your friend. Make no mistake about that. Everybody has their angles, okay? In a place, especially in a place where interests are involved, like workplace, there is no such a thing as friendship. Only temporary allies. Of course, I am not saying this as don't act friendly and polite to people. I am not saying go isolate yourself, go be an hostile autist and get your ass fired. But understand that those people are not your friends. It is an interest-driven environment. And everybody's gonna be looking out for themselves. People often have an angle you can't see. Most people you are working with have an angle for themselves, looking out for themselves. So that is my first step. Don't isolate yourself, go socialize, but have your guard up at all costs. For example, let's say there's a company event, right? Sure, go attend the dinner, but don't party and drink like you would with your friends from high school. You are not with your homies. Don't ever drink more than a glass at company events. Alcohol will remove your inhibition and people will see through you. You will start talking about stuff that you shouldn't. Normies can do that. They can get away with it because they have nothing to, be scared about. They have nothing to hide. The most they have to hide is their oofy-doofy cringe porn addiction. It is not the same if you are into the BP. So guys, don't drink more than you are supposed to. You can't afford to get your inhibitions removed.
Oh! Smack! Hat goes flying. I think that's the most brutal part about this video, guys. The hat just had to go flying. It just had to. just to reveal the brutal, Norwood victim spot, drink spilled, belly bloated, pants soaked, defeated.
Don't share your plans and problems with people at work. People that don't care about you, bro, don't care about your problems, and you will only repel people. If people feel like you are weak and vulnerable, they will attack you. And also related to this, don't gossip to your colleagues. Always remember, those who gossip to you will gossip about you. And everybody knows that. My second advice would be, you have to follow the BP OPSEC to the T. Remember that the administrators can see your activity on Teams and Slack. Slack private messages are not private. Space owner can monitor your private messages. In the past, I got a colleague who got caught bad-mouthing the boss in Slack private messages, thinking they are private, thinking they are not being monitored. Same with your work email. Do not use your work email to forward, to send stuff to yourself or someone else that you wouldn't like your bosses to see. This might seem obvious, but honestly, you would be surprised. You would be surprised how many people actually get caught doing this. You have to follow the BP OPSEC to the T. Then, additionally, don't connect to the company Wi-Fi on your phone without a VPN. Use your own data plan at work, especially if you are attending to your own private matters on it. Remember, nothing you do on company network is private. Following the BP OPSEC is so important, man. Maybe a BP OPSEC video for later, because there are several aspects to this. There are several ways you can handle this, but that is for another time. The next point. This is a brutal but just as important life tip. The biggest skill is not to be important, but to make people believe that you are important and you are working a lot. For example, lunch, right? During lunchtime with your colleagues. Complain a little bit about, oh dude, I am just too busy, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I have to work even on weekend, I am overloaded. Not too much, you don't want to annoy people. Look busy, otherwise they will just create more work for you. Yet another rule to follow. Never ever admit to it. Never admit to it, guys. Now, even if you are sub 3, let's say you are 5'2", messed up face, people will somehow expect you to have a girlfriend, a life, a partner, a social life. You always gotta lie. Never admit to it. Never admit to, being a loner, being a part of the WOT community. Because in normie mind, if you're a loner, that means there's something wrong with you. It is never about your looks, right? So make up an imaginary girlfriend. My girlfriend's family, parents are gonna be in town visiting. Stuff like that. Mention stuff like that. Now, admittedly, this lie, you cannot keep up this forever. Like, people will catch on. This is a difficult lie to keep up over time. But the otherwise is just worse. The alternative to this is just worse. People will talk about their girlfriends. What are you gonna talk about? Are you gonna talk about Hammerhand? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't talk about Hammerhand videos you were watching in the weekend when people talk about their plans. For example, I used to say, oh, my girlfriend, she's just trying to get a visa. That is why I can't bring her to the events. They really complicated that stuff. This visa, this is just too difficult these days. Lie, lie, lie. You never admit being a loner. Oh yeah, she's just trying to get a visa. That is why she's not here. Likewise, you never ever talk about or even mention lookism or BP. Like, some of the stuff you guys say just blow my mind, man. Or, yeah, dude, I played your video to a friend in college. He looked at me scared. Or, yeah, dude, I played your video at the wedding. People looked at me very weirdly. Bro, you will legitimately scare people off. At best, this is the best case scenario. They will think you are just shallow and let it slide. That is the good scenario if you don't get fired. The other option is you get reported. This brings me to the next point. Don't you ever try to hit on a colleague. I mean, this is known even by normies, but this applies to you 100,000 times more. One of the cringiest things you can do is being confident with women. Oh, just take a chance. No, don't take that chance. You cannot take that chance. Guys, don't end up like he then succeed, thinking someone being polite to you, someone doing her job, is actually into you. Especially at work, people are gonna be polite to you. Because guess what? They are your colleagues. They have to be. Like, autism is just so strong with some people. In the past, I remember. This was a while back. More than a year ago. I had a community member telling me, oh bro, Rehab, the BP maybe is not all that true. And I keep an open mind. Okay, let's hear why. I wanted to hear what is his reasoning. And the reason why he was saying that is this. He went to a gym, asked a woman, a girl there, how a machine works. And she explained it to him. Bro, people are gonna help you at the gym. Especially if it is a dude as obese as you. And he got offended by that. Bro, like, what do you want me to say? I am just keeping it real, man. Real life doesn't work like those TikTok videos. I don't know what you want me to say. People are gonna have manners. But if you go ask out that chick thinking she might be into you, you will make a clown out of yourself. This is 10 times, 100 times worse if you do this at work. Finding another job won't be as easy as finding another gym. If some 600, 700 pound female comes up to me at the gym and asks me to explain how a machine works, I'm gonna explain. I'm not gonna get cancelled out of a gym. I'm not gonna get buried under a prison. It is called having manners, bro. Loneliness truly broke some of yous, man. It really did. Like an egg, it broke your mind. The lack of touch, the starvation robbed a lot of men of the common sense.
So one of my guy friends gave me permission to make a Hinge account for him because I was telling him how easy dating is with dating apps. And he was telling me that it's incredibly difficult. And I was like, Pete, you must be doing something wrong. And he gave me permission to create an account for him and just run the account. I've been a virtual boy for 3 days, and I've never felt this bad about myself. I feel like a freaking loser trying to get these girls to like me. And I'm starting to hate women because I'm like, when I say I mean Pete, because that's the account I'm using. Pete's about a 6. But I'm so desperate, I'm liking the 2s and the 3s, and even they won't like me back, Pete, which is a 6. So what level of delusion has entered women's heads? Like, what is going on? It is so difficult dating as a boy. I hate it. I'm on day 3 of being a boy, and I hate women, and I'm more depressed than ever.
The next BP. Don't ask for favors from people if you don't have to. People say, oh, when people help you, they are more likely to like you. This is called Benjamin Franklin effect, Rehab. No, there is no Benjamin Franklin for your face, bro. That halo only happens if they already want to like you in the first place and are looking for a reason to like you. If you ain't got that reason, like your looks, then you shouldn't be asking for favors or help from people. Don't ask for help. They will just interpret that as you being incompetent. Remember, as a sub 5, people will be subconsciously looking for a reason to dislike you. Don't give it to them. If you want to survive office politics, you always gotta operate under the assumption that people have it out for you, because the chances are they do. Don't ask for help. You gotta look like you are competent. It is much more important than actually being competent. Chat goes asks for help. People are gonna think, oh, he's so down to earth. He's not afraid to ask questions. He's not afraid to ask for help. You go ask literally the same thing. People are gonna say, oh, he needs help. He must be incompetent. He must be weak. Guys, you always gotta look like you are competent. Which means if there's something you are not sure about, don't bring it up. Set it up in a way that you can shift the blame later. If a problem occurs later, then you can say, well, this was designed to be this way. If it wasn't, then it should have been stated so explicitly. Always shift the blame to something else or to someone else. Set things up in a way that if there's an issue later on, you are not the responsible party. Another advice. Yes, looking competent is more important than being competent. Sure. But you also gotta be competent enough. It is about being competent enough when you have to. If you're a poser who can't perform when you need to perform, you are gonna get fired. And guys, the final one. Plan ahead. Save for bad situations. Be flexible. Work life and office politics can be difficult even for normies. It takes its toll on you. And you know, even if you do your best, they can cut you loose. You gotta prepare for when that happens. Which is why you need to plan ahead. Keep your options open. Save up and invest for bad times. Cause let's be real, for people like us, it is gonna be rainy times more often than not. Remember man, it is you against the world. Nobody's gonna be on your side. But I will see you guys in the next one. Don't be a free agent in life.